Imagine a cash machine that spits out money today but leaves you empty-handed tomorrow. Sounds alarming, doesn't it? Welcome to the shocking reality that many Americans are facing today. In the midst of sustained inflation and rising living costs, more and more citizens are treating their 401ks, their retirement nest eggs, as personal cash machines. The numbers speak volumes. A recent report from Bank of America reveals a startling trend. There's been a 27% increase in the number of 401k plan participants pulling out cash since the first quarter of this year alone. That's right, a 27% hike in just a few months. But that's not all. The number of people resorting to this desperate measure has skyrocketed to over 18,000. That's the highest level we've seen in the last 5 quarters. These aren't just random outliers, folks. This is a trend, and an alarming one at that. Each withdrawal might seem like a drop in the bucket. The average amount being pulled out is just over $5,000. But remember, these are funds meant for retirement, not to tide over temporary financial struggles. Every withdrawal today is a step away from a secure retirement tomorrow. Despite the rosy picture painted by high GDP numbers and low unemployment rates, the reality on the ground is starkly different. Americans are grappling with a cash crunch, forced to dip into their future savings to make ends meet today. And it's not just retirement funds that are taking a hit. The same report has found that the share of households newly defaulting on credit card payments is at its highest in 12 years. However, let's not forget perspective. The number of people dipping into retirement funds is still less than 0.6% of the over 4 million plan participants that Bank of America services. A quick fix for today, but what about tomorrow? Let's delve into the consequences. In our next segment, we'll take a closer look at the dire repercussions of treating 401ks like cash machines. Stay tuned. Let's paint a picture of the future. A future without sufficient retirement funds. Imagine yourself in the golden years of your life. These are supposed to be the years of relaxation, of enjoying the fruits of your labor. But what if the fruits of your labor have been depleted long before you've reached this stage? What if the funds you've been cautiously putting aside for the future have been whittled down to a shadow of their former selves? This is the stark reality facing many Americans today. In the face of rising inflation and ongoing economic challenges, many have found themselves using their 401k retirement savings as an emergency fund, a short-term solution to a long-term problem. In 2023 alone, over 75% of hardship distributions were for less than $5,000. $5,000 might seem like a drop in the ocean when you're looking at the entirety of your retirement savings. But those drops add up. They accumulate into a significant amount that can't be easily replaced. The truth is, when you withdraw from your 401k before retirement, you're not just taking out money, you're also losing the potential growth that money could have earned over time. That $5,000 today could have grown into a much larger sum in the future. This short-term solution of using your 401k as a cash machine could very well lead to a long-term problem, the inability to retire. As the funds dwindle, so do the dreams of a comfortable retirement. Instead, the golden years could turn into a time of financial stress and uncertainty. But is this the only way out? Is dipping into your 401k the only solution to the economic challenges many are facing? Or are there other ways to navigate through these difficult times without jeopardizing your future? Trading tomorrow's comfort for today's needs, is this the only way out? Let's explore. It's not just the 401ks that are feeling the heat. The financial stress is spilling over. The economic distress isn't confined to retirement savings, it's permeating every corner of our financial lives, and the numbers are alarming. The share of households newly delinquent on credit cards has reached its highest level in a dozen years. That's right, a dozen years. This isn't a blip on the radar, it's a significant shift. It's an indicator that many Americans are struggling to make ends meet and are resorting to credit to fill the gaps. And as we all know, credit card debt is a slippery slope. with interest rates that can quickly turn a manageable balance into an overwhelming burden. But why is this happening? The causes are multifaceted, a perfect storm of economic challenges. The first culprit is high inflation, a term we've become all too familiar with in recent years. Prices are rising faster than wages, meaning that every dollar you earn buys less than it used to. This gap between income and expenses is forcing many people to rely on credit to cover their basic needs. The rising cost of living is another factor. Whether it's housing, healthcare, or groceries, everything seems to be getting more expensive. And while these costs rise, wages have largely remained stagnant. This disparity is putting immense pressure on households, pushing them towards debt. Lastly, we can't ignore the ongoing economic challenges. We are still dealing with the fallout from the pandemic, and despite the recovery, many sectors and individuals have been left behind. Job insecurity, reduced hours, and the shift to a gig economy have all contributed to financial instability. Together, these factors are creating a ripple effect of financial distress. It's not just about retirement savings or credit card debt, it's about the broader economic picture. It's about how these challenges are affecting our ability to provide for our families, to plan for the future, and to enjoy a secure and comfortable life. A ripple effect of financial distress. But is everyone being swept away by this tide? Amidst the storm, there's a glimmer of hope. The younger generation is stepping up. Yes, you heard that right. Despite the challenging economic climate, Generation Z and Millennials are making strides in a different direction. They're not just sitting back and watching the storm unfold. Instead, they are taking proactive steps to secure their financial futures. A recent report from Bank of America reveals an encouraging trend. A rise in contributions to 401k plans by Millennials and Generation Z. Now, this is noteworthy because it hints at a generation that is keenly aware of the need for financial security. They're not treating their retirement funds as cash machines, but as the nest eggs they're intended to be. These younger generations, often criticized for their spending habits and perceived lack of financial discipline, are showing that they are capable of bucking the trend. They're not just blowing their paychecks on avocado toast and the latest tech gadgets. They're taking the long view, considering their future, and making sound financial decisions that will serve them well in the years to come. This rise in contributions is a silver lining in an otherwise cloudy economic landscape. It shows that even amidst financial uncertainty, it's possible to prioritize long-term financial security. It's a testament to the resilience and foresight of these younger generations. Now, this doesn't mean that the problem of treating 401ks as cash machines is solved, far from it. But it does offer a glimmer of hope. It's a small but significant sign that the tide can turn. If these younger generations can continue to ramp up their contributions, they can help offset some of the negative impacts of the 401k cash outs. This is a beacon of optimism in a sea of financial distress. It's a sign that, despite the difficulties, there are those who are still committed to securing a financially stable future. It's a testament to the power of long-term thinking and the potential for positive change. A beacon of hope from the younger generation, but what can we all do to reverse this alarming trend? The time to act is now. We all have a part to play in securing our financial futures. As we navigate through these challenging economic times, it's crucial to arm ourselves with a wealth of knowledge. Financial education is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's time to understand the importance of a 401k and the implications of treating it as a quick cash source. This knowledge isn't just for finance enthusiasts, but for everyone who dreams of a financially secure retirement. Smarter spending habits are another key piece of this puzzle. It's easy to fall into the trap of living beyond our means, especially when inflation and costs of living are on the rise. However, it's crucial to remember that every dollar spent today is a dollar less for the future. It's time to take a hard look at our spending habits, separate our wants from our needs, and make conscious decisions that prioritize our long-term financial health. Simultaneously, there's a need for policies that address the root causes of this problem. We're living in a time of high inflation and rising costs of living, which are putting a strain on the average American's wallet. It's crucial for policymakers to step up and implement solutions that can alleviate these pressures. This might mean creating programs that increase financial literacy, advocating for wage increases that keep up with inflation, or implementing policies that help reduce the cost of living. It's clear that there's no one-size-fits-all solution to this issue. It's a multifaceted problem that requires a multifaceted response. However, one thing is certain: every one of us has a role to play, whether it's educating ourselves about financial planning, adjusting our spending habits, or advocating for policy changes. We all have the power to make a difference. Our financial future is in our hands. Let's make sure it's a bright one.